So, which one should you be using? Should you be using socialism or capitalism to run your country? Well, actually, it's kind of a trick question because, in fact, you should be using both. There are parts of your economy that will be best under the rule of capitalism. That is everything where you can easily acquire some sort of competition, or where you have the choice not to buy the service. That is free market and capitalism. Because if you have the choice not to buy the service, then you have also the choice to basically force the manufacturer to give you better prices. Because if you don't buy, they're making no profit, and if they're making no profit, they're going to go bankrupt. However, in cases like healthcare, for example, you can't really choose, and so that's best as socialized service. Healthcare, road infrastructure, power distribution and generation system, all of these things ideal under the control of the country. That's because they can offer you prices that are much better than any private company. And the reason for why is because, well, you can't really build competition in these venues. So competition is automatically out of the window for any private company. And you can't really choose to not have that service, which means that companies don't really have an incentive to give you any kind of better price, whereas the country does have an incentive to give you better price, because lower electricity prices are good for the economy. That means more business, and more business means more collected taxes. On the end of the day, everybody profits. The businesses profit because they have cheap power, and the state profits because they're collecting a lot of taxes. However, there is also, for example, road infrastructure, where how are you really going to build any profit off of that? That is ideal under the hands of the state or country, because the country, again, is benefiting from the fact that roads bring you business. And because roads bring you business, that means you can collect taxes. And if you collect taxes, well, you're profiting as a country. And that's how some things are better under the hands of capitalism and other things are better under the hands of socialism. And I am better without this mask. This is terrible. Who thought this is a good idea?